welcome to my Trist guide preseason. And the first thing I'm going to go over is the runes. The rune that you run on Tristana is press the attack. Because when you use your E and the bomb explodes, it applies with the press the attack, which is 12%. It actually does a lot of damage, and it's the best rune to run on Tristana. Next, you take Triumph, because when you get kills, you get 15% health back. This is just a good ADC rune in general. I run this in all my ADCs. The next, I run Alacrity. The thing with this is I sometimes run Bloodline if I want to take the late game with Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. The thing is, with Alacrity, I run it only when I need a sustain in lane, and I know that the late game is going to be equal when you're versing a Twitch or a Kog'Maw, or even you lose the late game because Twitch and Kog'Maw just outscale. This helps you live in lane as well with picks like Soraka on the enemy team, and something that can just stop you from farming. Coup de Grace is just the best one to run in this because it just has the highest scaling, does the most damage. It's just best overall. In the second tree, like I said, you run these two when you need sustain in the lane, when you know that you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Domination, you run Domination Tree with Taste of Blood or Ravenous Hunter. But if you feel like you can make it to the late game and you can pressure them later in the game, then what you want to take is Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus. Okay, so let's go over what counters and what matchups Tristana is not good into. Excluding Corki and Diana because they're mid laners at the moment. Right at this moment, because of the new runes, Draven, Caitlyn, Kog'Maw, and Twitch are her toughest matchups. Into Lucian, this is just for ADCs. Into Lucian, you don't want to go up and poke him. You want to just stay back, farm, play for the late game. Same with Draven. Into Caitlyn, Kog'Maw, Twitch, because the late game is a little bit harder, especially against Twitch, you want to try and poke Twitch and Caitlyn. Against Kog'Maw, you want to kind of just focus the support and try not to die. With supports, the supports that counter Tristana are Soraka and Thresh. And what happens with Thresh is if he flays you in your mid jump, it cancels your jump and you get the 19-second cooldown. He can also hook you mid jump. He's just the ultimate counter to Trist. What you want to do with Thresh is you want to try and poke him far and just try to dodge his hook. You want to bait it out, move to the side of the minions, bait it out. And against Soraka, you want to try and not do anything until you have Executioners, and then kind of pressure the ADC with the Executioners and try and going for the all-in. Okay, so now that you have runes and matchups down, the next thing that you want to go over is combos and when you should be going in. So level 2, you get a power spike. You want to push the wave out as soon as possible. If you can get this wave plus 3 minions of the second wave, you get level 2 straight away. So what you want to do is as soon as you hit level 2, you E, kite right or kite left, and as you auto, you kite. And you should have the press of the attack on the target as your bomb triggers. Right? When you're in lane at level 2, you want to try and get these off before you jump, so that way it applies to the press of the attack. Obviously, if they're far away, you try to jump to get closer. And also, you want to jump when the bomb's on the one of the last triggers. You want to jump now. So as soon as you get the 3 hits, you go to the jump and it automatically resets your W because it counts as a trigger towards the E. Right? Another combo that you can do with Trist is after you get the 2 or 3, you can and then re-jump to get the reset. You want to do this when they're low health. When they're below 3 bars, 4 bars is when you want to do that. You don't want to do these type of things. You don't want to hit that and then jump, you want to try and W on the third trigger, so that way it resets, and even if they jump away with flash, you still can get the auto from there or here. I'll give you an example. Next thing is farm manipulation. You want to push the minions as far in the tower as possible, because as Tristana, it helps you, like, you know, not miss CS. Because if the farm pushes towards your tower, you automatically lose as Trist. Like, you just miss CS automatically. So you want to try and push it in. But the thing is, you don't want to use your E on the minions early. If it's pre-6, you don't want to use your E on the minions, because it's the only thing that provides pressure as a Tristana. So if the enemy support comes up and tries to hit you, you can use the E to like damage them and kite. Once you hit level 6, you can use your E to push the wave to the tower. Next thing is how you move around the map. You want to stay in your lane as long as possible, because how Tristana scales the late game. The only things that beat her late game are Cogmore and Twitch. So you want to just stay in lane and try and get a farm advantage, or the only time you move out is when your tower is down, the enemy tower, and your top laner hasn't killed a tower. That's when you cycle and you move, you recall, say the top laner, let's swap. That's when you swap. If your tower's down, you still want to go bot lane and push it out. Okay, for builds, what you want to do is always, every game, try and get a BF sword on your first back, and try and get it between 6 and 7, 8 minutes. If you can't recall and get a BF, you don't have enough money, try and look for a pickaxe. Pickaxe is what you want to start with if you're replacing BF sword. If you start a pickaxe, don't build into BF sword, because you already have the damage. You need to then rush into a static shiv. You always get static shiv first. Doesn't matter who you're versing, what you're versing. The only exception to that is if you build executioners, and you build executioners after BF sword, and you only build that sometimes into Soraka, into some healing supports. You want to get a blue trinket whenever you hit level 9. Yeah, so the next thing you do after you get your static shiv is you rush Infinity, then you rush Rapid Fire Cannon, and if you went for the late game Tristana build, the one with sorcery, you then want to build Bilgewater and get some lifesteal. If you haven't, if you ran the other one where you get the life back from attacking them, then you want to look for a GA, a Maw, anything that can help you live, you know what I mean? This is where you have your situational item. Another exception is after your BF, if you need QSS, if there's someone on the enemy team that just says massive stun, if you're versing a Nautilus support, or the Thresh keeps hitting you with hooks, or anything, you need a QSS, build it after the BF. If you need to build executioners and QSS, then you don't build more or any situational item after Rapid Fire Cannon. You just upgrade the QSS into Mortorius. Yeah, that's about it. To finish off the build, after you have your four items, your Static Shiv, your Infinity Edge, your Rapid Fire Cannon, your situational item, and your boots, which is 5 items. You then want to look for a GA or another situational item, or a Bork. A Bork works really well, as a replacement for your situational item as well, or like another situational item. It's always good to build Bork. Even if you have Domination as your second tree, you still can build Bork as your 6th item. That wraps it up. Thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe, like, follow me on Twitch. My Twitch is up the top left in the majority of the video. Thanks for watching, and see ya.